Well, he is the only samurai that saw it coming, I guess. Although technically that was Yahei. He would have heard Yahei climbing through the walls.
Cool.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stone-Faced Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are... Well, yeah, actually, we are back. Sorry, I forgot we had done one episode of this. I know, I'm looking at all this extra stuff that would be impossible for me to possibly not know that we had done a thing for this before. It's just this is the second episode in, and it's so rare for us to be having a first episode to second episode thing. We're so deep on all this other stuff that we're doing together. It kind of throws me off when we're so close in. Anyway, this is the second episode sponsored by Henry from the Patreon of Ayakashi, Samurai Horror Tales. Am I saying that right?
Ayakashi? Yeah,
Ayakashi. Alright, Ayakashi Samurai Horror Tales. Specifically, we're up to, episode 10 now, because we're specifically looking for the Mononoke arc. So once again, thank you to Henry, and I apologize for my rambling. I apparently am not all here mentally right now. I guess we better get to the board real quick, because Lessons is quickly spoiling himself. I have to really time myself when I'm going to send Lessons the link, because Lessons isn't going to hold off on looking at it, even though I sent it to him early, just to make sure he loads it before everything. The same way that I just apologized for being a little bit off-kilter in my mind, I apologize if this isn't exactly representational, as I have been a real busy boy lately, and had to put this together literally just an hour ago, as I was rewatching everything to make sure that I had it in mind what was going on last episode.
Not a lot of characters, because we're just dealing with one clan family. The Sakai clan. And they're ready to send their youngest daughter, or their only daughter, to marry another clan, because they're in the outs. They need the
well, the other clan's going to pay their debts.
Yeah. And so in the middle of that, a medicine man that looks suspiciously like an elf arrives and starts asking questions, and discovers that there seems to be some kind of malignant spirit haunting the Sakai household. And away we go. And we don't know who. A couple of people have been killed, including the bride-to-be, Mao Sakai, one of the retainers, Yanel, or Yael? Yael? Is it an H?
It's an H.
Yes,
it's like, whatever you were saying didn't sound right at all. It's like Yahei or something like that.
Yahei, yeah. I put the accent in the place.
Well, also, I guess you also looked at the I and saw a capital.
No, the thing is, the H, the front part of the H is covered by the green line.
No, I'm saying you were saying his name ended with an L. You were saying a hell or something like that. And I was like, oh, you must have been seeing the I as an L.
Yeah. Yahei. Yahei? Yahei. Yeah. So at least we have 2 casualties. We don't know what's happened to the mother, Misue. And
well, they sent for the doctor, indicating that maybe she's still breathing.
And we don't know exactly why this is happening either. Why is this malignant spirit here, or?
Well, I mean, I took some notes, so obviously I think that'll come out in the notes area. Mm-hmm. All right, well, that's the board.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, next up we have some comments. Mm-hmm. First off is Henry themselves from the Patreon, from the only episode you've seen so far. Yes, Mononoke also looks like this. The personality of the medicine seller feels very slightly different, but otherwise the series is the same. And the name Ayakashi and Mononoke both pretty much refer to evil spirits. Do take note of the directing here. It's super unique and purposeful to the eerie mood.
I mean, it's very interesting. The camera movements, in particular, tracking shots, especially when he's throwing out they have the sutras. Those little papers are called sutras because that's the thing that's written on them. So he's covering the entirety of the house in sutras in order to prevent the malignant spirit from getting into. And I love that sequence. Like you just fire them off like that, right? Covering every corner of at least in the walls. I don't know if he covers the ceilings as well. So I think it's pretty cool.
I mean, most of us have watched Naruto.
Mm-hmm.
Or, oh god, what's the other one? I mean, Naruto has the explosive paper, but that's not what I'm... There's another one where they seal a bunch of shit with paper, but it's usually around, where he's tossing it on the walls. In this one, I can't remember what I'm trying to think of. It might be Musushi. I can't remember the name of it, right? The slice of life one where he also deals with spirits.
Yeah.
I can't remember what I'm thinking of, but he puts it on, like, intersections, like, where a window would open or like where a door would slide apart. He puts it on those. Whereas again, this guy just new wallpaper.
Yeah.
All right, and this one is from Bruce Ingram from YouTube side. I miss the days of Noitamina animation backwards. Oh, that is the word animation backwards. Just look. I mean, I don't know. Have you ever seen? Because you might not understand what I'm trying to say. But you might not understand the word written.
Noitamina animation.
That's what I said. Okay.
Yeah.
Animation backwards. Block having shows like Ayakashi. I don't know why I keep saying this wrong, even though I probably said it 100 times right the last time. Ayakashi, Hakaba, Kitaru, Kucho, Baranako. God damn it, you guys. Do you guys know I don't read words right? And the Tatami Galaxy and Masakai Yusa's adaptation of Ping Pong. Now it's all Urusei Yatsura remake and Rurouni Kenshin remake, etc. Well, I mean, sorry, there's more, but I'm just gonna interrupt right here. They shouldn't make any Rurouni Kenshin anymore because all that money goes to fund a pedophile. As for your Urusei Yatsura remakes, I'm fine with that. Same with Ranma.
Yeah, Ranma got a huge remake. A bunch of remakes have been coming down the pipeline.
Well, the second anime, as I once discovered that I had ever watched, was the second Urusei Yatsura movie, which I think was called Beautiful Dreamer. Because I went on this whole search to try and figure it out, because I remember what I had seen with no context or even like my future knowledge of anime. No idea. And I described it and it sounds like you're talking about Discworld. It's like, no, it's not fucking Discworld. Although I think ironically, the second Urusei Yatsura movie had come out like in the same year Discworld had come out, so it was like that they had similar themes. Was kind of funny. That's the one where they take like a military, like oh god, what's the vertical takeoff jet that starts with an H?
No, it's not an H. It's an Osprey that has no H.
No, starts with an H.
Is that a Harrier?
Harrier jet, yes.
Yeah.
So I was saying, you've established yourself as the guy who loves jets, so you've got to answer this question, right?
Yeah.
They take a Harrier, and because everyone in the town's gone missing, and they go flying off into the sky to like get a bird's eye view, and they see, the town just dead ends on a cliff edge, and the entire town's being held up by the missing people as statues standing on top of a turtle's back in space. And I was like, that sounds like Discworld. Nope. That's the second Urusei Yatsura movie, Beautiful Dreamer, because I think it all takes place in a dream or something. Saw that back to back with Galaxy Express 999.
the whole concept of the in this world, the world is flat disk on top of elephants who are riding a turtle through space. The turtle elephant world combo, I think it's of Hindu origin, so it's not original to this world,
Well, yeah, but if
But
you're talking about, hey, I'm trying to find this piece of media,
yeah,
people are going to be saying, like, I think you're just thinking of Hindu mythology, because that would be a real confusing mess that I'm trying to tell you what I watched, and you're like, are you sure you're not talking about the Bible? That'd be weird.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. I don't know how I got that wrong. All right. Continuing. The creature you're confusing Tengu bird guys with are Kappa, which I think we said by the end. Summer Days with Ku is one of my favorite anime movies about a Kappa that becomes lost, is taken in by a human. I'm pretty sure that actually has a sad ending, because I think the point is that humans are bad. So I've heard about Summer Days with Ku. I saw like the movie poster for it or something like that, and then I also heard, oh God, what's his name? He's a famous voice actor who does a lot of his own YouTube stuff. Now I can't remember who the hell I'm talking about. Anyway, he listed it on his top 10 slice of life anime. I'm not really a fan of hip hop. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with my brain today. I'm not really a fan of hip hop, but I've always liked the Ayakashi OP music, and each story having different animation to go along with it. I forgot how quickly they made Mononoke after this show, Ayakashi being the third show to air in the block, with Mononoke coming as the 8th. I never expected them to make a series of movies after all this time. The first one came to Netflix recently and was a visual treat. My favorite show that does something similar visually is Genkutsu, The Count of Monte Cristo, a sci-fi take on the classic story.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm familiar with it. I mean, I've seen the art. Did we not discuss that similar art style anime before? All right, I know I responded to this comment with essentially the same thing, that I'd
Yeah.
seen that and I've heard good things about it. But I would have thought that I would have talked about the similar art style that I recall to that, because I also think that they do a elf ear thing too in that with like the main character. Granted, I've never even read The Count of Monte Cristo, so I'm not actually familiar with the main characters are, but the one who's represented in like the trailers and the posters, I think they have the elf ears for.
I don't know, but when I think of unique art styles, also my mind jumps into Vampire Hunter D. You watch that, right?
No, I think somebody recently even asked me if I had watched that, and well, I think the expectation is, oh yeah, no, sorry. Recently did a collab with the R Knights, and someone over in the R Knights chat was actually asking, because they wanted to watch Vampire Hunter D, and I was wondering if anybody else in the community had. And I remembered that my fucked up brain thought that Vampire Hunter D took place in the same world as Witch Hunter Robin.
No, it does not.
Yeah, I know. I looked it up. I know it doesn't.
It's actually supposed to be in the future, I think.
It is. I think he drives a sci-fi car of some sort. I never watched Vampire Hunter D, although I have watched a lot of AMVs based on it. Well, I did back in the day. I hadn't seen anything new.
I think they made a more recent not a remake, but a continuation movie. That's pretty recent. So yeah, relatively speaking, because the original Vampire Hunter D is from the 90s, the late 80s, early 90s. So yeah,
I think 90s.
Yeah.
Based on the animation style that I saw in the AMVs that I was watching.
Yeah. But, still fantastic animation. Some of the themes and ideas, which I think some of the. It would actually require censoring from YouTube if you actually put it there.
I don't think so. We watched Wicked City. Me and Rafferty did anyway.
Yeah.
That's a lot of SA.
Yeah.
Thinking how I was going to phrase that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, literally one of the.
Actually, no. Well, Vampire Hunter doesn't actually have as much as we can see in 0086. I think it is subtitle. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. To my recollection, I might not be remembering correctly that Vampire Hunter D didn't really have that much of a unique art style. I put it in the same camp as like, God, I almost said heavy metal. That's not what I was trying to think of. Bastard. Sorry, it was Bastard. That's what I wanted to say. Because Bastard has the same feel thematically as heavy metal, but I would say it's more of a similar art style to what I recall Vampire Hunter D having. Maybe not like 100%. When it's more thematic scenes, it has.
Actually, I would say that Vampire Hunter D is closer to Aeon Flux than Berserk.
Maybe the character. You're saying Berserk. I guess technically Berserk would be like Bastard too.
Yeah, Bastard, yeah.
Well, no, I would say that they're somewhat similar, although Berserk has a more darker ink style. Well, I could see that. You're probably closer. Berserk is probably the closer analogy wise, but I don't know. See, in my head, when I'm closing my eyes and trying to think of what I've seen of Vampire Hunter D before, all I can see is the dude's face. I can't remember what anyone's body looked like or anything.
Huge.
Yeah, like one of those side shots where he's like, face takes up part of the screen where he's looking this way, and then it's just like back shot because it's either him looking forwards or something. I can't remember. Probably when he was driving his car or riding a horse, whatever the fuck I remember.
Black horse, yeah.
All right, well, those were the comments. As I said, I jotted down a couple of notes, and I did it like an hour ago, so the mental state you're getting from me right now is the mental state I wrote notes in, so forewarning. We had talked about being reminded of Asagi Yojimbo, I think, last episode, and the character I was trying to remember the name of was Sasuke the Demon Queller.
Who's the character who is the... Well, we talked about that extensively, and I forgot the name of the character. Yubei? Is it Yubei the one that is not supposed to die because he's possessed by a demon?
I think so.
Yeah. But he does die, sort of, and then...
Well, I mean, he doesn't really. Now, if you believe in this consciousness taking over other bodies, then he doesn't die.
Yeah.
I mean, he was my favorite character, so it's a real shame I can't remember his goddamn name. Every time the medicine seller crosses a barrier, there's a strange groaning noise, but the medicine seller grins each time as well.
Could it be that he is pushing aside whatever is haunting the house?
Doesn't seem like it.
He also talked about his weapon, that he had to have the weapon specifically made to injure or kill.
He doesn't refer to having made it or having it made at all.
He hasn't, though.
Yeah, he hasn't, but you said something about that he had it made, and I'm saying there was never a reference that he has it made. I mean, if you're referring to purpose rather than him making something to serve a purpose, then it very much seems like, yes, this blade was made to serve that purpose. I don't think he had it made, though. I can't tell, but I feel like it was insinuated that Mizu is having an affair with Yoshiaki's younger brother.
I wouldn't be surprised, but again, I didn't pick that up when I was watching, so I'll leave it entirely up to you.
KO was talking about the fact that Yoshiaki is bad with money, which is why Mizu has her thumb on him, and it's no surprise that his younger brother is taking over the household.
Well, That doesn't necessarily mean that they're sleeping together. It means more than his younger brother might be now the new commanding face of the family, right? He's making all the decisions.
But if
Um,
she's got her thumb on him, then why would this other guy be able to just come in? Especially if everyone's
no,
listening to her and she's giving all the orders and he's doing nothing. It doesn't seem like he's the
because
commanding face at all.
well, it also depends on interior politics, exterior politics. As a woman, I think in the exterior sense, she wouldn't be allowed to represent the household. So all negotiations would have to go through the younger brother. But inside the household, she reigns supreme, right? And everybody does what she wants to do, right? Because people understand in the household, in the family, that she's the real power. So she doesn't have to hide it from. But in a public persona situation, I would think that the younger brother, or would be the one
I
doing the
understand
talking.
where you're coming from, the misogyny of older times, but nothing that you're saying is represented in the show, and nothing that I'm saying is represented either. But I don't know. Maybe I'm finding it because I'm looking for it. You tend to find stuff that you're looking for first.
Yeah.
Yoshikuni really doesn't seem to care that Mao's died, given his flippant statement of "she's not breathing. We don't need a doctor. We need a monk." He doesn't say it exactly that. Basically, we don't need a doctor. We need a priest situation.
Yeah.
At the same time, he's the first one to address the medicine seller on what he knows in the moment. That's when he starts cackling.
I mean, it depends on the family dynamics. Doesn't seem to be very great to begin with. So it's seems that nobody cares about anybody else. All that people care in this family seems to be about position and
No, not really. That's why I
like
made the board. There are
yeah.
certain characters that don't like or agree with one another. That's why on the board I gave them white lines. But there's plenty of them that essentially are dedicated to their duty to one another. So that's why you have like Yahei. I gotta zoom in on this. Actually, does care about what Katsuyama thinks versus say Sasaka, and Katsuyama are having this constant back and forth about what do you think the plan is if you don't trust me. Like they both serve, but they both disagree with one another and exactly what to do. So that's why they have white lines because it's that's also why I attach like green lines between family members and whatnot because it very much seems like even though you're family, there is a certain level of the same way that I pointed out Yoshikino doesn't seem to care about Mao's death, even though they're technically family. So when
Cool.
you're indicating that this family dynamic is weird, maybe among the actual family members, even though it seems like everybody liked Mao except for again the younger brother, the internal politics is still mostly we serve.
I mean, that's what is expected, so I'm not surprised about that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I've attached white lines to certain people who have expressed dislike, I guess, between one another. Technically, I should have actually had the Yahei and KO line being white instead of the green that I have it, because apparently he is a sexual harassment panda.
Hmm.
Well, she says it. And then he
Yeah.
stops for 3 times to look back every time. I think he's actually looking at the doorway to see if the medicine seller's left because he threatened him. And it's not so much to hear her talk about how much she hates him.
Good enough.
One must first know the form, the truth, and the regret of the Mononoke before unsheathing the sword. The sword did nothing when Yoshikuni tried to unsheath it, but when he took out a black pot near it, it began to shake.
Maybe the black pot represents what the medicine seller has to do in order to get those three answers.
Well, we already
The
got
sword
one of
is,
the answers
yeah.
because we have the form. Um, that's even my last note. We know the form is of a ghost cat, which is odd that the rat stuff is the most pervasive. And I think I just forgot whatever the word was because I didn't write it here either. It's the most pervasive theme.
Symbol.
Yeah, symbology, whatever it is, because it's the rat turds, it's all the rat traps. Somebody doesn't like a cat is the only cat motif we got, and that's introduced by the medicine seller themselves.
Yeah.
In fact, you would think it was ghost rats, not ghost cat, because of the rat turds that drop everywhere.
Yeah, but I think the idea is that if they're not, if the cat represents Mao, right, and they haven't shown enough care for the cat, then
Well,
the cat is not going to do it what it's supposed to do, help the family, and therefore that it leads in the rats to invade.
I don't think the Mao represents the cat. Remember, he says somebody around here doesn't like cats. Who is that? Also, they say rats are a good thing. They represent fertility because they follow you home, and it's a weird motif that they're coming with here. So, and also Mao was the one first killed, so I don't think Mao represents the cat. I don't think there's any representation of the cat. Obviously, we know its form, but I don't think that has any representative value. I think it's literally she's the first one who took a step outside, and anyone who leaves got possessed or killed.
Okay. Next note.
Yahei went outside the building and was possessed and leaking rat turds. Oddly, the Shionu retainers are sitting outside laughing, not affected by what's going on at all.
It could be proximity to the family, and these are people they're retainers, but they are, like employees. They're not considered to be part of the family per se. So,
Well, no, I'm talking about the other family's retainers that came to pick up Mao. Because remember, they had the whole conversation about maybe we should send a word to the other family about what happened to Mao. And that's what I was talking about with Sasoka and Katsuyama. Because Katsuyama's like, we shouldn't say anything. And Sasuke is, I don't remember his exact point, but the idea was that they're backbiting one another, essentially. You know, where's the doctor? Shouldn't he be here by now? Well, maybe the doctor's dealing with more important stuff. Well, what's more important than this? We've got to take care of this. Well, remember you said that we should not make things look more important in order to not raise suspicion. So they keep backbiting one another. That's why he got a white lion. Because he also, Katsuyama, thinks the other one's plotting something. It's like, well, why don't you tell me what I'm plotting then? That's why I thought a board was relevant, because there is a lot of internal politics going on that if you were just watching for cool, white elf does, Oni fighting. So the aspect that they're called Mononoke, because even though I knew the show comes after this is called Mononoke, I'm watching this and they're showing all like the little yokai. I didn't mean Oni, I meant yokai. They were showing all these like Japanese yokai images. Sorry, another aspect of Usagi Yojimbo coming into play is I had to look up a bunch of weird yokai stuff for that RPG, and I'm thinking, oh well. To be fair, I was thinking Oni for some reason because that was in my head, but in substitution, yokai here, and they're called Mononoke for some reason, which throws me off.
Different names, or names for a very specific subset of yokai, perhaps.
I guess.
Or not even related to yokai.
I would have thought Mononoke would have been that dude's name. Clearly it's not, though, because he hunts Mononoke. Yeah. It'd be weird if he was called Mononoke. Turns out that sorry, I'm gonna go off on some joke about, the most dangerous game was myself. All right, well, what do you have to add?
Something I was going to say before, which is, moving away from your notes, and I mentioned it before and I'm repeat it, is I absolutely love the use of color here and how colorful everything is and vibrant, which is very interesting because it's supposed to be a horror themed story, and yet we have all this color everywhere, right? They're not using like darkness or shadows as heavily as you would think.
Well, they're doing the
It,
opposite. Because you remember in all the scenes where, like, something has happened, and then they want to transition to another thing, they go, like, we're going to fill the screen with orange. Just, you're not going to see anything. This is the scene transition. Something's happened. Someone screams, orange.
Yeah.
Scary-ass orange.
So, yeah. That's what I really... And the music, it's pretty solid. I like I know that some people say the hip hop is not their cup of tea, but I think in this case it kind of fits, right?
I think if you describe stuff in terms of teacups, it's probably not your that.
Cups?
Yes. You just said it.
Hip hop.
Yes, cup of tea.
Teacups. It's not someone's cup of tea.
Yes. Why are you confused? You just used the analogy cup of tea. And then I said it's not, if you're describing it with teacups, then it's probably not your thing. I'm pointing out the fact that you just used an old ass turn of phrase to describe if this is your kind of thing. And if I'm saying if you're saying that, then it's probably not. Because you probably were born in the 1950s or something.
I mean, hip hop has been around since the 1970s. So
why are you we're going back to hip hop? I'm talking about your use of the term cup of tea. You seem to be confused that I think you're confusing hip hop.
Why are you focusing on that? Who cares?
Why am I focusing on anything? Why are you angry that I'm
not angry. I'm confused. That's what
I'm talking about. I'm trying
to.
I'm bringing up why you're confused and you're getting angry at it.
No, I'm just more confused.
Literally, I've gone on this whole thing about how old you probably are to be using the phrase cup of tea, and you seem to be confused, thinking I'm talking about hip-hop.
No, I'm thinking that why bring that up when I'm talking about something else?
I'm not. You're not turning the conversation point away. You are now getting more confused, I feel like. Literally, you said... something about if you like hip hop, this might not be your cup of tea, and I'm indicating hip hop is a more younger man's genre of music, or less your grandparents' genre of music, and they are more likely to use cup of tea as a turn of phrase. So if you're using cup of tea, that this might not be your cup of tea, and you're like, I don't figure out what hip hop is. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I didn't talk about hip hop as a cup of tea thing. You combined the two things together as though hip hop and cup of tea were the same thing for some reason. And that's why we had to talk about this more than like the 30 seconds it took for me to say the thing to begin with. Most of the time, your flippancy towards the conversation I'm having with you is caused by your initial confusion and me having to tell you. It's like I told you a joke and then had to explain the joke, and you're then angry that I explained the joke. And it's like, well, if you fucking understood the joke, we wouldn't be talking.
Anyway.
Oh, yeah, I love that. Anyway and anywho. Because it's such a passive-aggressive way to move the conversation along. The same way you're going, denotes that you're not paying attention. I know, you explained it in a different way, but I guess maybe I have had too many 16-year-old conversations on the telephone with people who did that.
Yeah, true. Um. Anyhow, uh, what I was saying about the first subject, not my use of antiquarian language.
I
Um.
don't know what antiquarian is.
Anyway,
Antiquated? Is that
ancient
what you meant?
antiquated. Yeah.
Antiquarian would
Uh,
be against the Quarians. And I think we all agree that the Quarians were on the right side of history. I, for one,
really?
enjoyed the migrant fleet.
True, but they were slavers, so no, not so
The
much.
Quarians
Anyway,
weren't slavers. What? Oh, wait, you're
yeah,
talking
they
about the
create.
AI thing?
Yeah.
So that's because they didn't recognize that they were intelligent. I think. Okay, to be fair, this is a conversation for a different show.
Exactly. See, yeah, we're probably gonna hit that soon. Anyway, um, that while it might not be to everyone's preference, I really like the fact that the hip hop soundtrack matches the sort of high energy that at times the show displays. It's fast, slow kind of situation, right? So yeah,
I wouldn't call this a high paced or a fast paced
I
show.
didn't say pace. I say high energy because
Well,
there's
I would
times.
argue that this is kind of the same thing, but I wouldn't say it's a high energy show either. Like the highest
There are
energy
times.
parts is like Mao gets stabbed and everyone's like, "Oh, what to do?" And he's just like literally pouring out a cup. And then we go to slow moments, like this has all the energy of the oh god, I wish any analogies I try to make were in my head before I start trying to make them. Get Smart. This has all the high energy of the Get Smart opening.
Yeah.
You know, when we're panning through all the doors he's trying to get through
Yeah.
as we go in,
Yeah.
because literally it's the same kind of shots, right? Where we see the people in the room, and then we pan back one layer. It's just like the two servants hot closest to them, and then we pan back one more layer, and it's more servants watching those servants watch the masters of the house, and it's like,
Yeah.
that's the highest energy we get up until he's like blasting the walls with new wallpaper.
Yeah.
A show doesn't have to be high energy. It's not a. I'm not talking like to the detriment of the show. I'm just saying I don't feel like it has high energy. Like you wouldn't like play like Bark at the Moon while watching this. Ozzy, for those that don't know.
Sounds familiar. I'm not an Aussie fan myself.
Faster heavy metal, not heavy metal, rock
Yeah.
tracks. Faster rock tracks, right? Like if you say it's high energy that you can play hip hop to it, I would say that for those that don't like hip hop and want to go with like rock, that you wouldn't play rock to it either. It's just not energetic scenes. We're not watching like Naruto and Sasuke fight in Naruto. I don't like using examples of a show where the show is also the show's name or the character's name. You wouldn't watch Naruto in Naruto do Naruto.
Yeah. Or people fighting Naruto in Naruto.
I'm just saying this. It's not like a fast-paced action scene or a chase scene or anything like that. It's mostly conversations. You watch The Man from Earth? Jerome Bixby? Oh, movie that takes place in one room about a Neanderthal who has lived since all time, explaining how a person could live for that long, and everyone trying to break it down because they're all professors from a local college that he worked at who's trying to move away because he moves every 10 years so nobody can keep track of him. Anyway,
Yeah.
I was saying, trying to like, trying to think of any like The Room. No. Well, I guess maybe. Maybe. I mean, The Room is filled with a bunch of like conversations in a room. I'm just saying, it's all the high energy of a bunch of people having conversations in a room together. It's not itself action packed. Again, not saying that's a detriment.
Maybe I'm confusing high energy more with tension. That's different.
Yeah, no, I would agree. It's
Yeah.
mostly tension. Like he's tied up. Tie him up tighter. You'll break my arm if you do that. Well, what are you here for? What's in your back? Like, oh, did she get poisoned? That's medicine. That's not poison, though. Although, to be fair, medicine, if used incorrectly, is poison.
Yep.
Hell, most stuff is poison. Chocolate's poison. Milk is poison.
much of a good thing.
I mean, well, not even a good thing. Just the body's not meant to do it. I mean, the body's not made to take it in. We've just made it pervasive throughout society that these things are meant to be taken in. You know, how many people in the world are lactose intolerant? But we've standardized milk as a thing that everyone should have. It's so good that babies should have it. Hell, I just got done watching an episode of Apothecary Diaries where they accidentally killed a baby because honey is apparently poisonous to babies.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, neither did the person who killed the baby. It's the funny thing about Apothecary Diaries, the deadliest thing in the world there is your own servants just making mistakes.
Yeah. Anything else?
This was your thought.
Yeah, no. I think you corrected me in the thought. I think it doesn't apply. I still like the hip hop track, but it doesn't really.
Yeah, it's a matter of taste. I remember we brought it up last time because I was talking about another show I'm watching, Infinite Rivus, also does hip hop, and it's like I don't much care for it, but thankfully it only appears in the scene transition.
Well, there you have it. Anything else?
Not from me. All right, well, I says if there's nothing else, let's go ahead and hop on into it.
But before we get started,
Make sure that you hit the like button.
Hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
on top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
Unfiltered.
Uncensored.
And uncut.
as well as some early access stuff,
You can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
もののけの形をなすのは人の因果と縁にし、よって皆々様の誠と断り。お聞かせ願いたく候。
So, what did somebody do? And I guess the cost of it? Well, I don't think it has to be somebody's actually regretting it. I think the regret can just be a moniker towards, you know, what was the thing that happened, right?
Of cost.
Although I guess that could be
Well,
the
we-
truth as well.
Yeah.
If
Well,
the-
we do not have one person. We do have an alcoholic in the family, so there's right there. It's going to be probably a lot of
What do you mean?
regrets. The older, isn't that no? He's
He's a
dead-
gambler. He's not a.
he's a gambler, not an alcoholic.
I think he's a gambler. He's just bad with
Yeah.
money. It was the main impetus.
It could be he's a gambler. Yeah.
No, you're saying that the older brother is going to be the one? Because I'm definitely
Probably.
leaning on the younger brother. You know, the one who's laughing about everything that's happening.
Yeah.
It doesn't even make sense because, you know, he should want the marriage to happen
Yeah.
because it pays off the debts, especially if you think you're right about him being in control of the family right now.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because it's definitely hurting his position and he's ecstatic and going through all this guy's shit. And again, not for nothing, but the sword shook around him a little bit.
I love when you see things from the eyes of the monster.
Well, I mean, it looks like we're watching
おい、
Evil Dead.
酒がないぞ。誰か酒を持ってこい。さっと。
かよ、言っといて。
Yeah, saw that coming.
早くごしだよ。場所は分かってるだろう。
Outside.
嫌です私。嫌ってお前。頼まれたのは佐藤さんなのに、私ここから出たくありません。なんて口の聞き方を。
おい、どこへ行く？塩がいる。ついでに酒を取ってくればいいんだな。勝手に動くな。奴はまた来る。その前に手を打っておく。ダメだ。
So I'm thrown by that little strobe pattern behind him. I was like, is that me or is that the show?
その方がありがたい。
おお、言ってやる。残念だったな。千載一遇の機会を逃してな。
開けるぞ。 用心棒がいるのはありがたいね。
私も行きます。
Well, he is the only samurai that
Yeah.
saw it coming, I guess. Although technically that was Yahei, he would have heard Yahei climbing through the walls.
どこに行くのか。
塩を借りるだけだ。
やつめ、この木に乗じて毒を入れるつもりか。
そんな人じゃありません。どうして小田島様はそんな風に言うんですか？
お、いや。
All the rat themed things.
私が行きます。かまどの奥にあるから。
The sake or the salt?
どこかに行ったりしないでください。
Well, she needs to bring both because her master told her to bring him sake. The younger brother. Oh, yeah, the younger brother. Yeah.
誰よ、こんなところに油こぼした人。油ちゃんとしまってあるはずなのに。
けしからんな。誰の仕業だ。あ、
Another black pot. Oh, that's because
俺にも
the younger brother was drinking out of a black pot when it shook.
入れる暇がないようにな。
聞こえてやがったのか。
So somebody got drunk.
Of course, yeah.
嫌でも耳に
You talk to them.
バカにしてるなお前。
おっと、気づいてやがったが。
おい、どこへ行く。
手を打つと言ったろ。
I mean, I think it's probably why it shook.
お酒をお持ちいたしました
The sake is the truth.
塩もご存知。
Somebody got drunk and did
塩
something.
ぐらい知っておるわ。
Yeah.
何の意味があるんだって聞いてるんだ。
So no vampires get in?
コケ脅しのハったりもいいとこだな。
Or slugs?
なんだこんなもん。
チャチャを入れるのはいい。だがな。線を切るな。
線、塩のか。
そうだ。
ただの
Yeah, we're working on supernatural
持ってい
rules.
るならそれでいいさ。だが、この塩の囲いを踏むな。絶対にだ。
手伝えることがあれば。
Well, it's a good thing half an hour ago we closed all the doors and windows to make sure there was no breeze.
よっぽど頼りになる。
あ、誰がデクの棒だ。
こいつを持ってくれ。カヨさんは中のやつを一つずつ渡してくれ。
The aforementioned children's toy.
Yeah.
It's also
Oh, this
dancing
looks like
in the
a-
opening.
Yeah.
大丈夫。
It looks like a drone. Like a modern day drone, you know what I mean? It isn't, I know, but
カヨさんのこと気に入ったみたいだよ。指でちょんと上げてごらん。
I'd say it's more like one of those zip toys. You know, you put it
Yeah.
on the top of the thing and you pull and it goes, phew, flies up.
mm. Also, like I'm getting Zelda, the last Zelda game series, Breath of the Wild.
I didn't play it. That's why I was shaking my head. You lost me on the
No, but
last
the-
one. I haven't played one since
The visual iconography, yeah.
I didn't look for anything on it either. I hadn't played anything since Ocarina of Time.
だったらこんな悠長なことをしている場合じゃないだろうが。さっさと見つけ出して切ればいい。それができんのはやはり嘘か。
言ったはずだが、
え？
もののけを切るには、あと誠と断りが必要だ。それが明らかになるまでこの剣は抜けん。
It's a lot of them. Supposed there to be scales, I guess, because they move side to side. They have bells.
人の絵にしと因果が
I don't know. It's probably a
もののけをなす。
alert system.
断りを聞かせてもらいたい。
なんだその誠と断りというのは。
I hope it's not what I'm thinking all of a sudden. That the younger brother essayed Mao while he was drunk.
And
I have
now
no
that
idea what
she's
that does
dead-
with a cat, but that alcohol was a thing. He didn't regret Mao's death and has been kind of
Yeah.
laughing about it all.
一つ、なぜこの家には猫がいない。誰かが何かを猫にしたんだ。それは何か。
Yeah, that was the other path I was going to take that has
Yeah.
nothing to do with these people at all. And it's like somebody abused a cat. And it's like, this is a lot.
わからんよ。だが、もののけは確かにいる。
でも恨みってだって台所に入り込んでくるから。水かけたり追っ払ったりしたけど、でもだからって恨むとかたたるとかね、ないですよね。
わからない。
どうして
I mean, cats don't like water.
そんなことぐらいで。
もののけにはもののけの断りがある。それは俺たちの腑に落ちるものなのかどうか。逆恨みって言葉があるように、道理や辻褄なんぞ必要ないのかもしれん。
だってもっとひどいことした人だっているのに。何を？私知ってるんです。
Here we go. Cycle of blaming each other.
猫を飼う。
あれはお金を払っただけで何もしてません。
で、その猫は。
私は知りません。猫がどうなったかなんて。野兵が全部やったんですから。
その金は誰の金ですか？別に答えたくないなら。
笹岡様です。笹岡様が私に
The guy possibly plotting.
猫は野兵が連れて行ったから知りません。
Probably not.
あれは、いや、切ったな。なあ、20匹は切ったか。とてつのいい偽物が入ったんだ。偽物だが地金はしっかりしてる。猫の皮は粘るんだ。骨は細いが
great.
皮が分厚くってな。試し切りをするにはちょうどいい。な、笹岡。
はあ。失礼ながら義国様、それは非道の行いではありませんか。笹岡殿、なぜお止めしなかった？還元も
They would prevent this.
では犬を
Dude's the family that runs the house.
違反をするなら代案を出すのが礼儀でありましょう。勝山殿のそれは不平不満の類に過ぎぬ。
不平不満だと？
そもそも義国殿ではなく義明殿を押したのは勝山殿でしたな。こたびのこと、どのように責任をお取りになるおつもりか。
To be fair to Sasuke, dude looks like he's seeing shit. Dude don't blink or anything.
But they've been killing cats.
20 of
Which
them.
might killing one. Yeah, 20 of them. Well, I guess, modern Japan, particularly how you treat a cat, it's seen whether you're a sign of a good person or not. How to treat small animals. And the fact that they've been killing cats, just for the hell of it.
We don't talk about the retainers just sitting around outside waiting.
Yeah, but they're not part of the,
They're technically not on the grounds.
Yeah, yeah. They're not of the cat killing family pack, so. Oh, he's having trouble breathing.
どうした？
音が。
いかん。誰かが訪ねてきたのかもしれん。
待て。
なんだ？
Well, I mean, Gahe stopped just like in the courtyard, so I don't think he ever got out to tell anybody anything.
そこを越えて人がやってくるなんてことはありえないんだ。
もののけ。
Don't think I'm missing anybody from the board.
Okay, so we know the act.
And everyone alive is accounted for in here, so.
So whose regret is that these cats got killed? Who's regretting it?
By the way, all of this in one drawer of his backpack.
Yeah. Bakeneko. Yeah.
猫なの。
I love how the sutras get activated, like they were some computer software or something.
Again, the younger brother just looks crazy all the time.
So we're telling where he's going.
Well, can't cross the barrier.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, the salt line.
Because you murdered a bunch of cats, you idiot. That's why it's happening. I'm looking for the brake. And the guy stepped on it, I think, earlier.
No, he stopped him from stepping on it. That's when he said, whatever you do, never do this. This is in Japan, right?
Yeah.
It just occurred to me that Mao in Chinese would be cat.
Could be.
That's her crying, get rid of the salt. So she's just seeing it.
Yeah. Did she shelter one of the cats before he got killed, and that's why? Yeah, they left the lady back. Like, grab her, you fools. Don't open that door. Oh, the 20. Ooh, that's a lot of cats.
Yeah, more than reported.
Yeah.
There's a legit already got told. Your sword ain't gonna do anything. What you want to bet Grandpa's been asleep this whole time?
The sword.
Well, so we don't know the truth yet. I thought we had. I thought we knew the truth.
Yeah.
義明勝山は死んだかおそらく わいそうにな。恨むなよ。恨むなら化け猫を恨め。
あれは誰だ？あれが誠の一部。断りの形だろう。
I thought that was Mao, actually.
玉木殿と呼んだぞ。他の誰も娘のことを知らないのか。
Another daughter, perhaps?
一部屋結界が破られた。
That's the difficulty with shows like this, where we might just not have all the information, so it's impossible for us to try and even guess.
刀を抜いたとしても、もののけの力に勝てるとは限らない。
なんだと？大麻の剣だと言ったではないか。
What is he doing on top of her?
He's not, he's just hiding.
Oh.
俺の技量には限界がある。
まだ奥に逃げられる。
Pretty elaborate house. Guessing that's the person.
Yeah.
Either that or it's just general art.
なんと。なぜ花嫁衣装が。
Again, he's been cackling the whole time.
She is.
Well, yeah, but I'm so settled on what's his name being a thing.
Oh, the old man is the one with the regrets.
That'd be a bit on the nose, wouldn't it? I don't think so, though. Well, I mean, other than his grandchild being dead. Because literally, he's the only one who was, like, trying to give her a fond farewell before she left.
Yeah.
I didn't figure shit out. I'm gonna have to, like, that's gonna be another rewatch for the notes thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
cool though.
Yeah, well, there's too much. The finger could point anywhere. Although a cat, also a voice actor, cat. Well, I mean, I knew this was a 3-parter before anything, but I don't know. This was definitely the episode of point the finger in every direction so that we can, you know, here's all your guesses, all the guesses you could make.
Yeah.
Even my conspiracy board doesn't, you know. I guess maybe I'll need to make a new one.
But it could be another daughter that they don't talk about. It could be a lover of the old man.
How's it relate to
he
cats?
Regrets.
That's what I said.
Maybe she loved cats. Maybe she loved cats.
Maybe, but what would that have to do with why would the form be a cat? This is next time on shit. This is spoiler shit. I mean, as spoiler, is that Mononoke? I keep calling him Mononoke, so that's his name.
That's the doctor, yeah.
Oh, right.
It may well be that the pain and the regret and suffering coalesce around the pain and suffering of the cats, and that's what's fueled it, right? So you have two things coming together. These people are murdering cats callously, and that creates a sort of energy that the pain and suffering of those cats merges with the pain and suffering of the old man. And
I guess my problem is that I'm of two different sides, which is my initial guess of, maybe the younger brother sexually assaulted the daughter, and that's the whole thing, where I'm trying to come at it from the perspective of very human concerns.
Yeah.
And then form of a cat. And it's like, oh, right. Well, maybe the conceit is that the world is much darker and wider and beyond our imagining, where the problems of supernatural creatures can be cats and whatnot. To which point, there is no humans element to this. But that's when we get the person wandering out there amongst the cats, and it's like, okay, maybe it's both, and maybe I don't know anymore.
Because remember, in this secret room, they find a
wedding kimono,
wedding shroud, wedding shroud.
And then on the next time on, we see a kitten in the shroud.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I said, oh, this is a Japanese show, right? Because literally, Apothecary Diaries is an anime that takes place in China, and that's why the main character is called Mao Mao, and it's like, oh wait, that's right, Mao, cat. It's like,
yeah.
And the daughter's in here is called Mao, and it's like, is this in China or is this in Japan?
No, I mean, there's some Japanese, a lot of Chinese influence in Japan, including names. So
yeah, well, at a certain point, they came up with their own language and stopped using the Chinese alphabet. You know, a lot of animosity over the ages. But yeah, no, I mean, that's what immediately jumped out at me. And then the fact you would name your daughter.
Writing systems in one. Katakana. And I remember
Kanji.
Kanji, and I remember the other one.
The one made for... I was just say the one that's made for women. They have their own... They had their own writing system. But that might be kanji. I don't actually know if two of the ones we already said were originally designed for women or not. No, my point being that if one of the woman that died was named Mao in reverence for a cat, that could then point the finger back to what's her name, the one that just died. Then again, is anyone being dead a factor in this? Like, the daughter being dead? Like, does the Mononoke stop when the target of its ire is dead? Because if it does, and then some people that have died already, and it's still going, means that if that is a rule or a factor, that they're not the target of the ire.
Yeah, no, but I think in this case, the house is the entirety of the house, because it flows from the grandfather all the way out.
I don't think it does.
I think it does.
I don't think he's talking to him. I think he's talking past him. I think he's talking to the Mononoke, and it just happens to be that the grandpa is just sitting there in between the two. I mean, obviously, I've already indicated I have no fucking idea. I have no idea. I had to rewatch. But, I mean, that was my read on the situation, mostly because, despite the fact that we've got Grandpa here sitting with his mouth wide open, I think it's just a factor that he's a funny old man, because medicine seller back here ain't looking at him. He's looking straight forwards.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think the grandfather, I mean, that wedding kimono, which nobody knew about the secret room, and it seems to be some kind of shrine to a person.
I think people did know, obviously. I don't think Old Man is the one that pulled the thing. I thought it was the younger brother that pulled the thing.
Yeah. But they did know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I've been constantly pointing my finger at younger brother the whole time. So if he's the one who knew about the room, just continues to point my finger at him. Obviously, he could just be the red herring, right? Obviously, dude cackling all the time is going to be the guy you point at, but at the same time, it's you and Gundam Seed Destiny. Dude's grinning too much. Like, yeah, it could be a red herring. Did it turn out to be? Not so much, but, well, it's the same thing, though. Dude's cackling all the time. Maybe it's meant to make you second guess, like, a dude who's evil laughing all the time has to be evil, right? No, maybe his resting bitch face. I don't know. Maybe it's not.
Maybe he is evil, but it's not the evil that we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be something stupid like a cat saw me do something evil, so I killed the cat. What is this, Egypt?
But yeah, second episode. I'm loving it. Whatever is happening, I don't know what's happening, but I'm loving it.
Well, again, it's definitely something I gotta rewatch again to take my notes for, to try and even have a guess, because I didn't even come into this with like a guess on what the truth and regret were, other than the one I came up with like 3 minutes into the episode.
I'm gonna say that I'm not a fan of horror. I usually don't like horror because, to me, if it fails, it's bad. I mean, I don't feel scared, therefore it failed. And if it does succeed, then I don't like it because I don't watch stuff to be scared. But this is not a projection of fear. This is tension. And I do love good tension.
The definition of horror is difficult, because jump scares fall into horror, because jump scares are scary. But I mean, they're scary in the moment. Like, you know, if I hide around a corner and you walk around the corner and go, ah, and you're like, oh, fuck, I didn't expect you there. You know?
Yeah.
Technically, that is scary. It's called a jump scare. But that's not entertaining, you know? Oh, no, the sound went real quiet all of a sudden. Something's about to fucking jump out and scare me. You can see it coming and they'll still get you. At the same time, like, I'm not scared by this. I figure horror has to be scary. So, at the same time, I'm not scared by, like, the serial killers in TV shows and things like that. It's not scary. You gotta get me on, like, existential horror, you know? Like, I always remember back to, was it the movie 1401? As you are, I once was. As I am, you will be. Says old man in a hospital bed to his son, essentially. I was like, oh, that is actually pretty scary. Just life is scary. The way your health will just get taken out by underneath you just by time. You know, just the dread of very real things. Like memory problems. Anything that does memory problems in a very real way. That's something we all come across. Even if you don't actually have bad memory problems. Just anyone who's ever walked into a kitchen and forgot why they walked in there. A very real human experience, but very real. What the fuck is up on my memory? You know? Yeah, that's horror to me. So it doesn't have to be like visually scary. You can do some real scary shit with some everyday stuff.
I'm looking forward to next month. We see the third part.
Yeah, because we did 2 this month because we fell behind. So this is our payback to that.
Mm-hmm. There you have it.
There you have it. Well, with that said, I guess that's where we're going to call it for today. So once again, I have been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?